KCMG Nissan. Josh Burden was behind the wheel at the time. The track was very dirty, oil down from Ellis, all categories as well. Hard into the wall at BP Ultimate.
In the wall, that is very un-Ollie-like.
Wow, was there another car involved?
Down to through the chase. No, lost it under braking, snapped sideways.
Oh man.
And he's on the grass over the top of the circuit and nails the tyre wall in front of the spectator area at Ridges Hotel.
Now that's an extra layer of protection that's gone in there for this year after the Black Swan.
This is Daniel Serra in the Ferrari, and that lets go, well, mid-corner, but the rear going, rather than with Luca Giotto's Aston Martin understeering off. That was huge oversteer for the front.
Well, I think that's the same thing.
Hitting the curb.
No, I think it was the wiggle in the middle of the corner, and that's what put the car off. But the under the brakes, the number 8 Bentley just snapped sideways, and that was a big impact. There's right-hand front and rear damage. It now looks much more like a straight car because the large rear spoiler's gone. Just a wiggle right in the middle of the corner for Daniel Serra, exactly as the same as the Aston Martin. And that's what I was talking about with that Aston Martin. I said he was lucky to get away with something as small as going in, and that was my worry. Seeing bits of the car we're not really wanting to see. The good thing about that is a purpose-built racing car with a tube frame. So, coming over the top, the first contact is the lightest of contact that you heard Cam McConville there talking about. That sends the Bend Motorsport Park GT3 into the wall, the AMG. Then it's carnage going on behind. What it's difficult to see is the rest of the cars going through the gap because of the dust cloud. But all of the spectators know that there's something going on. And in that dust cloud, we think 3 cars at least. There's the BMW going through and got through the incident. And then there's a couple of other cars that come through, which includes Tyler Everingham.
There's no dust in the back.
Yeah, there's the BMW and the Mark car coming through, and they were behind it. And then Everingham comes on the scene, and he's collected the Mercedes AMG that as it's bounced out from driver's right.
Yep, I'd agree with that. And it's caused massive damage to that Mark car, and it launched itself up onto the fence. So this is Tyler jumping out of the car. We can see this shot initially.
Turns it off.
As it played out, yeah.
Turns it off. Just don't get necessarily the choice that you want, and that was gone early as well. Maybe even round about the same place or earlier than we saw from Chris Meese earlier on. We've seen now
tyres are moving around and the downforce on the car, they're snapping into oversteer. Remember, 220k plus.
Absolutely nothing Bathurst could have done about that. Remember, part of the balance of performance is a deep breath, everybody. He's absolutely committed. He hits the wall, first of all, on the right-hand side, and that breaks the steering. And from that moment on, Kirchhoffer is a passenger, gets airborne, and almost does roll over.
That went over.
I think that went over, Krillsy, yeah. I think that's gone over. It almost went over front over back, but then actually did roll laterally. It's quite a big hit on the right front at the metal grate.
That's what did the damage.
Yeah, he's got no steering.
Whether it broke anything or not there is probably irrelevant, because the car was massively unloaded at that point, and it's just fired it off the road, that contact at the metal grate. So it's backed in hard, it swung the car around. Look at the rear screen bouncing up into the power lines.
Yeah, wheels going all over the place.
Debris fencing doing its job, which is only a recent installation up there a couple of years ago. And then check this out, it'll ride the fence, Tony Hawk skateboarding style.
Almost going over.
This is the point where it tips.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of motor racing at Mount Panorama, and I've never seen that there before. That is a ginormous impact. And once again, the driver walks away.
Gets
0.3 away from pole. There's a dust storm at the top of the mountain.
And once that's bumped out Shane van Gisbergen by the way down to 10th position.
It's the Trofeo Lamborghini has gone around at the top. and is parked on the
the
fence.
wall.
Yeah, beautifully done.
Canto behind the wheel of this car. Same spot we've seen all the drama today.
Same
Turns
wobble
the
in
car
the same place.
Yep.
So that's the oversteer we're talking about.
Clips the inside wall, then gets a little bit bumpy going in, rides up over the tyre wall, gets 3-4
You are
feet off the
kidding.
ground and parks it perfectly at top of the wall as if he's parallel parked it. And I say, I'm going to put out there that it's probably been a wall rub there, Crealty.
Yeah, potentially. He was running third in class at the time. We'll try and unpick that for you. Fortunately, the car running under its own steam and limping back. Audi Sport cutting. Yeah,
there you go.
were correct.
That'll do it.
Not once, but twice. And just understeered off into the wall there. No other cars around. So it's actually running second in class because it was passed by Warren Luff.
Ordinary. Oh,
Whoa.
top of the mountain. Oh, it's the Aston 188 that's hard in the wall. Come Ledegar behind the wheel. Oh, that's done. That's been a huge incident. We're going to see the intervention of the Mercedes AMG safety car for this one right across the track.
And the team would have been told instantly what went on this at full speed. Have a listen.
I hear that sound.
That was Andrew Watson stamping on the anchors and just about able to squeeze by that stricken sister car, as you say. But, well, all three Astons have been running together, as we mentioned.
Cameron does finally get underway. And
Safety car, there it is.
that's got to be, yeah.
It is now. So this is a look up at the spares box dipper.
Oh.
No, he's big contact. That car's not driving anywhere.
No, absolutely. I thought he just stopped. We were looking at the good side. That's the side you take the picture from if you're going to put that car up for sale. Right hands, rear or front. Looks great.
A big dust storm. Where's the car that's stranded in it? And it's gone in big time. It's one
the
of
22.
the Audis.
They were having a battle together, the two and the 22. Oh, my goodness me. What's happened up there? Garth Tander has had an enormous impact at the top of the mountain, and the front left wheel has been ripped off. The AMG safety car already scrambled. Huge dust storm up there. It has been super dry around these parts. Clear skies at the moment here, and for the third time of asking, we are under full course yellow.
Through on the inside a few minutes ago.
Here it is.
So on board with Garth now. Watch the car in front. Wide through there. Oh, and there's no grip at all.
Oh, man. It's shaking the mirror off the windscreen. Such a big hit.
I just have a listen to this in real time. I just think Dries maybe got a little bit of push, a little bit of aero-induced understeer. He's really close to the back of that Porsche. He drifted out and had to try. And that car's going nowhere at the moment. It has no fire. Meantime, what happened? There was a bit of contact, and that was the man filter AMG.
Wink up.
Oh, my goodness me. How close were the two Porsches behind as that car was rotated?
Wow. I'm speechless.
We've
Huge
seen
moment.
big
Check this out.
accidents there.
So Winkup's trying to go down the inside, thinking perhaps that Seni's going to jump out of the way. Oh. And that's the Maguire's #1 car with Lawrence Vanthor behind the wheel.
You've got to worry if he's done damage to that car by having to ride the curbs. The Hallmark car going around, and it just tags the wall. Actually, it was front first there. I saw damage on the left rear. That might have been from the contact with the AMG, JP.
Yeah, that's what caused the spin initially, and then it's nosed into the barrier. It got off lightly, so much so the dive pen's still in place. But